Every Gen Z conversation ever. Why didn't you finish the job? You're gonna get us in trouble. Oh, it's because of my anxiety. I really had to take care of myself. I'm sorry, but who cares, bro? The client is waiting for his freaking service. Oh no, but like you really don't get it. I am diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. Oh, I'm so sorry for offending you. I didn't know, bro. I'm gonna call the client. I'm gonna tell him like he can wait. It's okay, bro. We all make mistakes. Thank you. Sound familiar? I call them Gen Z badges of honor. Let me know if you recognize some of them. Generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, borderline personality disorder, BPD. It's like pick one, stick it to your forehead, and spend the rest of your life avoiding the responsibility of being human. This seems to have become the default path of our generation. By the way, did you know that most of these labels were only officially recognized as an official diagnosis as late as the 1980s. It's like humans before the 1980s. Well, I guess life sucks sometimes. Now, what can we do to make it suck less? Humans after the 1980s. Oh my god, so like the doctor officially gave me a mental little sticker, so now I am forever condemned to be limited by a combination of symbols and sounds. But don't worry, I have a solution. I can numb my brain with chemicals by taking some kind of magic pill that will save me from the condition of being human. Don't worry. My name is Danny Banchev. I'm the founder of the Off-Porn Academy, and let me be clear, I am not denying your struggle. Matter of fact, the only reason I'm allowing myself to make fun of that is because that was me. I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder at 7 years old. I spent the first 18 years of my life walking around with a bunch of labels stuck to my forehead. And to be honest, those labels kind of make sense. Like, as a kid, every single night, I would wake up in the dark hours with a feeling of absolute terror. Like, I would immediately run to my parents' room seeking security. My mom couldn't get a good night's sleep for years because I was afraid of monsters. And that fear of monsters later evolved into a fear of other humans judging me, aka social anxiety disorder. I spent my teenage years paralyzed by this fear. Like, every time I had to speak in front of a classroom, I would feel something close to a panic attack. And what's crazy is I almost dropped out of theater class, accepting to fail my grade just to avoid this fear. And only a few years later, I do that shit for fun. Like, I'm a public speaker, model, actor, I do content creation, I go to improv classes. It's like, come on, so many of us are living with this limiting freaking nothing stuck to us. It's like, it's just a freaking label. Anyway, so today I'm just inviting you to look at it through a different perspective, one that made my life suck less. So the next few minutes will be separated into 3 different sections. The first one is where I give you a little bit of the backstory. So how did everything change for me? Then the second part is where I give you the principle, the lesson I learned, and how it can serve you. And then section number 3, we're gonna cover 3 steps on how to change our personality in order to create the personal reality we want. So for me, everything changed when I came across this book called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. I 100% recommend it. So this is the line in the book that changed everything for me, okay? The words we attach to our experience becomes our experience. That's it. When I heard that, my mind went poof. Of course, he went on to explain the power of words, and then I asked myself, okay, what if instead of using the words anxiety, depression, I just replaced them with calling them uncomfortable feelings? I am not exaggerating when I say that anxiety literally became irrelevant to my life from that day on. A word! And it's like, I'm not saying I'm never afraid. Matter of fact, I've experienced fear all the time. The only difference is that I don't see it as a limitation anymore. I actually use it as fuel for success. It's like, ding, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Great, time to take action or shift my perspective on something. Listen, there's a reason behind that fast transformation. It's not just a miracle. I'm about to explain it to you. Most of you have probably already heard it, but it's the power of the self-image. It's also commonly called your identity. So the art of identity shifting. Here's what all of us really have to understand. Our mind is a goal-striving mechanism, and it works automatically towards the goal we set for it. It's like success is literally built within our nervous system. Every single human being on this planet is successful, period. The key difference, however, is that our definition of success is a direct reflection of our self-image, meaning if we see ourselves as failures, we will successfully fail. If we see ourselves as anxious people, we will successfully be anxious. If we genuinely see ourselves as valuable entrepreneurs for long enough, we will successfully become millionaires. Self-image or identity is the most powerful force behind human destiny. We must not underestimate this power. I'm serious here. We do not fly to the height of our talent. We fall to the level of our self-image. Stories shape our world. Language matters, and fuck limiting labels. So here are 3 steps on how to change our personality to change our personal reality. Step number 1, be present. Live in a meditative state. My definition of presence is absence of identification, meaning not to confuse thoughts, emotions, senses about past or future with who you are. In other words, remembering that you are the conscious awareness, not the thoughts, not the emotions, not the feelings. That's not you. We are the conscious awareness, not the thinkers. You can also call it living in a meditative state. That's how we reset our default settings back to a blank state of infinite potentiality, the essence of our deepest identity. So here's what you're gonna do. Schedule 20 minutes per day where you just sit down and observe mental, emotional patterns that come and go from a place of radical, open curiosity. No distraction, no judgment, just being. As you get used to it, because it can be pretty uncomfortable in the beginning, you can then start applying that meditative state to every other day-to-day activity you do, just to remember who you really are in your essence, not what society has labeled you as. Now, step number 2 is when it really becomes fun. That's when you shift your form identity or your human identity. That's where you choose who you want to become in this life. The way you do it is by literally voting every single day for your ultimate identity of choice with your habits. That's how you set up the foundation for your life. Every aspect of life, health, wealth, relationships, happiness, it's all built on identity. So here's what we're gonna do. Take a piece of paper or open the notes app on your phone right now and ask yourself the question, in a perfect world where nothing is off limits and you could be whoever the fuck you want to be, who would you want to become? What kind of person would you want to be? Go for it. Note it down. Everything. Nothing is off limits. Now, once it's done, you can do it after the video as well, but once it's done, you're going to look at that list and ask yourself, what are some daily and weekly habits that would make it basically impossible for you not to become that person if you stick to it for a decade? Think about it. If you keep on voting for that new identity for a decade, you could become that person. Every time you engage in these habits, you are voting for the creation of that new identity. Do it long enough and your anxious label will feel like a past life. And last but not least, step number 3, be grateful. Celebrate your progress. That's how you actually reinforce that new foundation you want to set. I want you to remember this, regardless of who you want to become. There are moments in your life where you're already that person. Or if you prefer, moments where you've acted as that person would act. So from now on, every evening in your journal, acknowledge these moments. Celebrate them. Note them down. It can be something that happened in the past day or the past week or month or year, whatever, as long as it happened. Regardless of what it is, it's one more vote towards that new identity and it's worth celebrating. Alright, my people, that was all for me today. Hopefully you found this video valuable enough and that you're gonna start shifting your identity right now. Fuck these labels. This is not who you are. You have the power to change your identity to whoever the fuck you want to become. By the way, whenever you're ready, there are 2 more ways I can help you. Number 1, if you prefer learning by reading, then you'll be happy to hear that this video you just watched is the exact script of only one of the lessons in this week's newsletter called the Triple Wisdom Wednesdays. So every week, I share 3 valuable lessons that can help you progress faster with less pain. It takes about 10 minutes to read and it's completely free. So if you want to sign up for that newsletter, the link is in the description. Or if you prefer learning by watching videos like you just did, then this is the right place to be. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. I will be very grateful. Now, the second way I can help you is that if you have balls and you're on a mission to become the greatest man your bloodline has ever seen, then you can join us in the #1 divine brotherhood in the world right now. It's called the Offborn Academy. The link is in the description as well. We'll be waiting for you on the other side. Other than that, thank you all so much for listening. I'm so grateful for y'all. Much love, take care, and I'll see you here soon. Bye-bye.